So I read something the other day in a voluminous off-season report on each team that was written by Sheil Kapadi in The Athletic, whose work is just, I mean, the volume and detail of his work. And in talking about the Chicago Bears, it was fascinating because it was an unnamed source. Obviously, he's got a lot of connections. Who said, "I love what Ryan Poles is doing. How methodical, how aware, how honest," and then concluded by saying, "This year is going to suck." And and I get it, and we it felt that way from the outset, especially looking at where the cap numbers were starting in for the Bears. Like this is going to be a rough one. This could be 4 wins, this could be 5 wins, it could even be less, and it may get the Bears closer to a Super Bowl.
Well, that's right, and sometimes we see this happen, and there's a fine line between deliberately, strategically taking a step back and tanking. There's a fine line between those two things. But it feels like the Bears are deliberately taking a step back. And the problem is, usually teams do that when they don't have a quarterback they believe in, because part of the setup is we will be so bad we end up getting a quarterback that becomes our franchise foundation. Maybe that's the hidden message here, that the new regime doesn't believe in Justin Fields. Because if they did, would they be tearing everything else down, or would they be trying to build everything else up? Because what happens is if the team stinks, Justin Fields is going to have a rough year, and fans are going to be like, well, we wasted a couple of first-round picks on him. On to the next one. So maybe if there's truth to the idea, and it sure looks like it, that they're deliberately tearing everything down, it could be that this is just step one toward moving on from Justin Fields at the appropriate time, which could be as soon as next year if they would trade him to someone else and then begin their search for whoever the next potential franchise quarterback is going to be.
I will give you an alternative hypothesis, and that is they're saying to themselves, maybe this kid needs less than people think he needs. And we're going to do it on the cheap. He's going to coach up this defense, and rah-rah coordinator coach is going to max him out for now. The schedule is not as formidable as it was. And I know predicting schedules ahead of time is often a fool's errand. But maybe they're just looking at this as that we need less than people think we need to be competitive. Draft pick be damned. We're going to tell this kid, let's get him a few weapons and let's go get him.
I mean, look, I mean, it's possible because the NFC right now is the lesser conference by far, and the NFC North is the least of the 4 divisions, with the Vikings having a new coach and a new GM, the Lions in year 2 of their latest effort to reboot a franchise that's been stuck in the mud for decades. So there is an opportunity there, and what you do along the way is you set the bar really, really low. And it's always good to have the bar really, really low, because then if you win 6 or 7 games, it looks like you had a successful season and you're building something toward the future. But whatever they're doing, there's clearly a strategy, and we'll see how it plays out. But if the goal is to undermine Justin Fields and eventually get another franchise quarterback, then we'll see it move in that direction. Or flip side, if he's so good it doesn't matter who's around him, then that's going to shine through, and he's clearly going to be the guy moving forward.